super excited because our next guest will be a regular. And he's one of the best. When we talk about covering baseball in Philadelphia, covering baseball nationwide, it doesn't get better than Jim Salisbury. Good morning, Jimmy. So, Jimmy, can I just say thank you to start our conversation?
For what?
For being a contributor here at PHLY. You're going to have regular appearances, and I love you and I love your work, and we have a long-standing friendship. We have worked together in now this will be 3 different places. So I'm thrilled.
Yeah, I'm going to do some work for you guys. I'm really appreciative to you and Vince for the opportunity, and come off the bench a little bit and little ML Carr action. I'm showing my New England roots, ML Carr, 6th man, but happy to you guys have put together a lot of talent, a lot of energy, and I'm really excited to do a little writing and occasionally put my ugly mug on the screen.
You're the best, buddy. So let's talk Phillies. Last night, just kind of run into that Sonny Gray. For some reason, Sonny Gray befuddles them.
I love Sonny Gray. You know why? That kid has got, he's got cojones. He's been a tough gamer since he broke in with the A's coming out of Vanderbilt. He threw harder when he was younger. He's had some issues, but he just knows how to pitch. And he's a real gamer. He was coming back last night. It was his first start, so they were watching his pitch count. But you're right. He befuddled them a little bit, and sometimes that's not hard to do when the Phillies are scuffling for runs as they are now. Boy, that was a tough game last night. They left a whole bunch of runners on base. They had some threats, 3 double plays, 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. It just seems like the last decade, you just look up on certain nights and they're 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position, 0 for 7, 1 for 11. It's when you get the big hit. You got to get that big hit with runners on base, and they've struggled to do that. I mean, that said, it's an awfully long
especially
season.
In April and May. You go back. It's uncanny, Jim. April and May, always.
I just wonder if they come out of spring training and, you're down there and you're working on certain things. And this year they're working on not chasing, because the whole world saw it last year against the Diamondbacks in the NLCS. They get eliminated because they're swinging at a lot of pitches out of the zone. Well, guess what? They did that all year. And they've done that for several years because of the nature of their team. It was just really magnified in the postseason. There's those pockets when they do that, and they're quote unquote an easy out. But there's other times when they're right on it, when they're selective and they're right on it and they're hitting the ball hard and they're putting up runs. So I tend to have faith in this offense. It's a small sample size. I mean, they were 4th in the league in runs last year. They're bringing back pretty much the same cast of characters. I think they're going to hit. I just think they're caught in the middle right now. I think I believe when you think too much, be it on the foul line, be it in the tee box, and be it in the batter's box, I think when you think too much, think long, think wrong. And I think they're coming out of spring training where they stress so much, don't chase, don't chase, don't chase.
Yeah.
The wheels are turning, and maybe they're not chasing as much, but they're not pounding the ball. I mean, I was looking at slugging percentages today, and they're way down on that roster and on the team as a whole. So I think once they get back to kind of reacting in the batter's box and using that bat head like a weapon, you'll see some things that make you happy.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you saw it, like really, even over the weekend. I mean, in Washington, they had chances to bust open Friday night's game, bust open Saturday night's game, and you could see it. I think you're spot on. And the other thing, too, is, I mean, this is a fastball hitting team. This is a power team. This is a team that's very dependent on the weather. I mean, that's a part of it.
No question. It's not fun to hit when it's gusting and it's The rain is coming down sideways. Although Harper certainly did a pretty good job hitting 3 home runs through the rain the other night. But the weather's going to get better here, and I do think just right. I think sometimes the key to an offense is getting multiples hot at one time. You can get 3 guys going pretty good at the same time and 2 others like kind of emerging. That's when you get something. So I still, they got to get Wheeler some run support. That's, they haven't won a Wheeler start, and he's been good.
He's been very good. Typical Wheeler. You're spot on.
He gave up 3 runs last night. Okay, sometimes he's going to give up 3 runs. It's still damn good. You got to get him some runs. I look at, you got to win the ball games when your ace is on the mound. Last year, and it's a little topical, but last year the Braves were 26-6 when Spencer Strider pitched. That's what you do. That's what you do. I mean, I know he's great, and they were getting on his back, but 26-6 when he was like, you got to cash in when your big dog is on the mound.
It's 9:30 on the Anthony Gargano Show, and this portion of the program is brought to you by the Bet Parks Sportsbook app. You like to bet Parks. You brought up Strider, and obviously that was the big story over the whole week. And the news about Strider. First, let's talk about what it does to Atlanta, obviously. And then I want to get into the arm thing because there's a lot of theories as to why all the elbow issues.
Well, it would be like any other team losing their number one. And sometimes I think we throw around that description too much. This guy's an ace. This guy's a number one. I tend to think there are probably fewer of those than we actually believe. Well, not that guy. He is a legitimate number one, a legitimate ace, a legitimate backbone of a pitching staff. I mean, last 2 years, number one in the majors in strikeouts the last 2 years, and spent part of that time as a reliever. So it's a loss for them, but it's a loss. I think, they're a very good organization top to bottom. I mean, few do it better than the Braves when it comes to, player procurement, scouting, developing, always winning at the big league level, which is the most important thing.
They've
been doing it for a generation.
Yeah.
So I think, they'll be very professional in filling that hole. I think we'll hear some more, maybe today, whether he's going to have the surgery. All indications are he's going to need it. Very hard to rehab that injury, and he already had the surgery once, but it's hard to rehab that injury, especially when you're exerting so much force like he does, putting so much strain on that elbow. And that's probably there's a lot of theory, a lot of debate, argument even about what's causing the rash of arm injuries. I'm no scientist, but I've seen a lot of baseball. I've talked to a lot of pitchers, been around the game for a long time. It just seems like the art of pitching, the art of moving the ball, changing speeds, that's all changed and been kind of supplanted by the desire to fire. Yep. Fire up in the zone, blow it by people. The thirst and the intoxication with velo and power, and the new training methods where you can increase your velocity, develop your velocity, push your body to limits it's never been before to create that velocity and that spin. I think that puts a lot of strain on fragile body parts. Fragile, right? Yep. There. That's fragile, right. The elbow. Maybe the most fragile, other than the noodle.
Yeah.
Maybe the most fragile body part in sports. The noodle number one and the elbow number two. I don't know.
No, you're right on.
And
this noodle's always fragile. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, hey, we've learned a lot about that too in recent years. But so I just think the temptation and the desire and the need to throw harder, because I'm not going to make the team if I don't light up that radar gun. I'm not going to make this showcase if I don't light up that radar gun.
Dude, I know.
Yep. I'm not going to get a college scholarship and get a scout to come watch me if I don't light up that radar gun. They're not coming out there to see, cunny thumbers. They're coming out, boom. And I just think the desire for power, we see it in all sports. I mean, look at the PGA Tour. They're talking about dumbing down the ball now. They're moving the tees back everywhere because there's so much power, and we know how to develop it and train for it. And these guys are elite athletes. So you put those characteristics, elite athletes with drive and desire, and then you add technology, and wow, you can really build a beast. But the fact of the matter is, and hitting is the same way. The desire for power is seen all over hitting, and the strokes these guys take. That's why I like Alec Boehm. I really like Alec Boehm. He seems to have always resisted the temptation to lift the ball. He's a little bit inside out, line drive approach. I think he's going to get better. I'm an Alec Boehm fan.
And I am too. And he's got great plate coverage. One of the things,
and he really hits with runners on base.
Yes, he's always making contact. He's got great plate coverage. You know, he never. You're right. He never elevates. It's a beautiful approach, and he's so big, right, that the power is going to just come naturally with him. He doesn't need to torque it.
When you see it, like he hit that home run in the game 7 of the NLCS, he really used the bat head. I mean, there's times when he gets the bat head out and that ball just jumps, but other times that line drive approach. But I think the rash of injuries is from the temptation and the training to throw harder and harder and harder, and the de-emphasis on the art of pitching, and the emphasis on power, and the emphasis on swinging miss. And there's so much to that. The pitcher feels pressure to create swing and miss because the ball's harder and the bat is harder. And when they make contact, it goes farther and it does more dangerous things. So I think it's technology and the temptation to throw harder, and the human body can only endure so much. You can only endure so much stress on that elbow. And that's why we're seeing these breakdowns. I don't think it has anything to do with the pitch clock, but hey, some of the guys that pitch do. They were raised.
That's an interesting
era. Guys are thinking.
No, go ahead, Jimmy.
I was saying in the analytics era, there's so much information in these guys' heads on the mound and in the batter's box. You can see the game almost slowing down because they're processing. Where in the 60s, 70s, 80s, even into the 90s, they were getting the ball, throwing the ball. I mean, Cliff Lee not long ago was to get the ball, throw the ball. He wasn't really. So I don't know that it's the pitch clock, but I mean, hey, there are experts out there who believe it is. I just think it's guys are throwing harder and harder and harder and putting more and more stress on those body parts that weren't meant to hold up, and something's got to be done about it because you need Garrett Cole is down, Strider's down, Shane Bieber's down. That's not good for your game. Andrew Painter's down in the Phillies, though I think that's maybe a little different. That seems like it was a little more acute. But it's troubling because, you love baseball and you love gifted, talented players, and you want to see them out there, not on the sidelines. And, the investments these owners make in pitching is massive. Well, and now they're picking 5 and 6 innings and they're going to the bench, going to the shower, or they're on the IL. It's there's I think there's the ways that they're conditioning pitchers in the minor leagues to, pitch 5 innings and then, move on or, move out of the game, hand off to the bullpen. I don't know if they're developing enough of a workload in the minor leagues when they come here. And now the temptation is to throw harder and eventually a guy breaks down. So I don't know anybody has all the real answers, but it's troubling. And, you'd like to see the art of pitching come back. There will still be pitching injuries because it's a fragile, the fragility of the pitching arm, but there might not be as many of them, and guys might not be, blowing out just by trying to blow fastballs.
Well, you can draw the parallel. We're talking about injuries, the big story of the day, presented by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Check out TrueMark.com/PHLY. One of the other things, too, you're like quarterbacks. Like, you need them in the game. You could draw the parallel because you go out to see a guy like Strider pitch. You go out to see Wheeler, Shane Bieber. Like, these dudes, like, you want to go out and watch them pitch. They're important for the game. I'll never forget, it was like you would check, hey, when I was a kid, Carlton's on the mound. Hey, let's go. And that was the vet. You could get a ticket game day, and you would go down because it was Carlton versus John Candelaria.
Oh boy, those are some names. A couple of big sweeper. You had Candelaria throwing that sweeper and Lefty with that back foot slider. Man, those were. But yeah, you do have to keep your marquee talent on the field. It's like any sport; they need to be on the ice. They need to be on the court. I mean, that's what's such a bummer, I think, for the fans about load management in the
Yes.
mostly in the NBA. Is a matter of fact, I just had it last week. My daughter went to the Oklahoma City game with a friend who's a Oklahoma City fan, and they were resting their top two guys, and
Yeah.
and and you
Shay.
know you want to see but you want to see the best because they come into town once or twice a year. You're plunking down hard-earned money, and then they don't play that night. I mean, I feel like if you have a uniform on, you should be out there, but there's so much science and smart people telling you this is the right thing. Um, I guess I guess it's the right thing, but
I know, dude. I
at
feel the
least with
same.
the at least with the power arms and the desire for power at the plate, we're seeing so many more, so much more swing and miss, and strikeouts are acceptable and part of the game. And okay, and now we have a lot of arm injuries, and James Andrews is getting very richer.
That's right. The doctor. Hey, last thing, and I'm fascinated. The one thing, the beauty of baseball is the prospect, right? The phenom. And
Yeah.
the Orioles today calling up
Oh
Jackson
yeah.
Holiday, which is a great baseball name. Shortstop. And then I'm around all the youth baseball. Every kid named Jackson somehow can play, and they all play shortstop. Tell me about Jackson Holiday.
Well, his dad was a great player,
Yep.
and his uncle a great coach in Oklahoma. So it's a real big baseball family. But Matt Holliday was, I think he was the runner-up for the MVP in '07 behind Jimmy Rollins. Uh,
Yes.
he had a great year that year, and Jimmy had a great year, and David Wright had a great year. Chase Utley had a great year. I remember that year well. But yeah, Matt Holliday, a great hitter, finished with the Cardinals, great career. And this is his son. He hits left-handed. I've never seen him in person, but I've seen a lot of video of him, and just a smooth, sweet swing. Played a little bit. He's 20 years old, by the way. He's 20. He played a little bit in AAA last year and a little bit this year, and they're like, okay, come on. So, he's a shortstop, I think, by trade, but he's going to play second base because they
Yeah.
have Henderson, who's a great young shortstop, 22 years old. So, you look at that team with Rutschman, now Holiday and Henderson at shortstop. I mean, they have some young, brilliant
Yeah.
talent up the middle. The Orioles. I hate tanking and not competitive, but the Astros did it for a while and they came out of it pretty good. The Orioles did it for a while; they've come out of it very good. Got some really dynamic young game breakers, and this kid Jackson Holiday is the latest, and I'm glad they got him here quick and didn't try to play games. I mean, it's a little more incentivized now with your maneuverings on the roster with young players in terms of service time, because if he comes here and gets enough service time and wins a Rookie of the Year, you can actually reap an extra high draft pick. So, but like you were talking earlier, you want to see Strider on the field, you want to see your best guys on the field. Um, or this is another exciting talent, and I'm going to be looking to see what he does in Boston today. And if you're an Orioles fan, man, there's a lot of good young players to look at. So this kid just really 20 years old,
Yeah.
remarkable, and it's such a tough game, Anthony. I think you know how tough this game is. To see a guy 20 years old, um, ascend to the highest level so quickly just is a testament to how much talent this kid has. And so I'm really eager to watch him play. I know I'll be tuning in for some highlights.
Listen, Jimmy, we love you, buddy. Great stuff. I love our conversations because I love going deep into seam head talk. I get to do that with you. So thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
And I don't want to rip all hard throwers. I mean, if it's your natural body, like Wheeler
Right.
throws 96, he's a big, tall guy. It's easy. It's the other guys that are just grunting and groaning, and their bodies aren't fit for it. So, um, I'm kind of a believer that in this game, in all games, it takes all kinds. You can have power, you can have the power hitter, but man, he still just should still be a place for the line drive hitter. Should still be a place for the guy
Yeah,
for
Greg Maddux.
the change of speed guy, the paint in the corner. Like we're going to see one today, Aaron Nola.
Yeah.
He's that kind of guy. He's got to be on the edges. He's got to be on the middle of the plate. He's not grunting and groaning and trying to generate 100 miles an hour. Aaron Nola is 100% pitcher, and I love watching that guy. So, getting back to the Phillies, I'm getting long-winded on you. They've had a chance to win their second straight series today behind Aaron Nola, and I know we're all a little hand-wringing about the offense, but it's about winning series. It's about winning series. Slow and steady sometimes wins the race. We'll see. So win a series today, and maybe we'll be happy when they come home tomorrow.
Amen, brother. I love it. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate it.